quickly, I see there's questions in the chat about Conn Smythe. We will get to those, so don't worry. But I do want to show this to you here, so Money. I'm sure you've seen or heard at this point, but Elliotte Friedman just tweeting out some breaking news. Sounds like there will be a hearing for Carson Soucy out of the end of game scrum in Edmonton last night. I don't know if you had seen that, heard that. Obviously, that's something that's going around pretty viral right now. Quickly, my thoughts on it, just as a neutral party and not someone who's not necessarily a diehard Canucks fan here, as I am cheering for the Canucks, but unintentional. He did not mean to cross-check McDavid in the face. McDavid slashed him. He gave him a whack back, goes to give him the cross-check, and unfortunately, at the exact same time, Nikita Zadorov decided he was going to make his presence felt, hits McDavid forward. If there's anything that comes out of this, I mean, you need to go down to George Parros' office, rip his name off the door, and tell him you never want to fucking hear from him again, because that would be outrageous if this guy is removed from this series. A fine, okay, sure, but if there's any type of suspension here, that clown in that office just needs to have his job removed today. Like, there can not be anything else from George Parros heard from ever again, because that would be a terrible, 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 terrible decision, especially if you're going to let the Bennett thing go, which was quite clearly a punishable offense, whether suspension, fine, or whatever. I was okay with it again, but you let that one go. You had enough evidence to prove that something happened there. This one is very clearly non-intentional to his head. He meant to cross-check him, likely right across the logo. Like, that thing was not going any higher than that. McDavid just happens to fall forward. I think it's bullshit if there's any supplemental discipline coming here, but so Money, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't even know what we're doing here with the NHL, right? Like, when I first saw that live, my first reaction was, "Oh shit, he got him in the face," right?
Yeah.
Like that's going to be a suspension. But and I think you described it perfectly, right? It was the end of the game, right? You have high emotions. McDavid is pissed off, right? You have the scrum. McDavid slashed him first.
Yep.
Susi slashed him back, right? Then it was a cross check across the chest. Susi's stick wasn't high.
Nope.
It was still chest level. He's going for his chest, and like Zadorov comes from like nowhere, right? I don't even know where he came from, right? And like, yeah, as McDavid is leading forward, he got cross checked in the face, right? So I mean, you have to have an element of intention there as well, right? Like there was a action and a response each side, right? You got to let that stuff go, right? There's nothing dirty there, right? Well, I shouldn't say there's nothing dirty, but there's nothing that goes beyond what the response should have been, right? You should be expected to cross check back with an equal reaction when someone cross checks you in the chest. It should be okay to cross check them back in the chest, right? If you intentionally cross check them in the face after you've been cross checked in the back or in the chest, yes, that's not an equal reaction, but that's not what happened here, right? So I think that I hope that the league has it in them to kind of look at that contextually and like see that there's some nuance there. It wasn't a cross check to the face, right? But I'm not holding my breath. He's probably going to be suspended for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, him and Gary sit down and they spin a wheel, and whatever comes up is what comes up, and that's what the suspension or fine ends up being for most of these cases. There's no consistency. There's no precedent that's set. There's no idea what's going to happen for whatever. Who the hell knows how this one's going to play out. I hope that there's nothing. A fine, sure, I'm okay with that, but like anything else above that, I think is ridiculous. Like Elucid, they're saying, in quotes, accidental cross check to the face. It is. I mean, you watch that one again, there's no intent to cross check him in the face. He falls into that.